Hi, kindergartners. Today, we're going to use something from your big yellow envelope. You've probably been wondering, what is that? This is a shape found in nature called a spiral. It looks a little bit like a snail shell or the spiral that you might see on a nautilus shell in the ocean, but it just goes in a curve that goes out and out and out and out. So today you're going to get a chance to decorate it, to cut it out, and hang it up. We're making a spiral art project, all right? So first thing you're going to need, of course, is this paper. So it should be in the second envelope, envelope number 2, unless you took all those things out, which is great, and that should be in your container with your art supplies. So look for that. You're also going to need a pair of scissors. You're going to need some markers. You could use colored pencils or crayon. It's going to go a little faster if you use markers because this is a lot of space to cover, okay? If you have a hole puncher, you can use it, but if you don't have a hole puncher, don't worry. You can just use a pencil, and the grown-up's going to be doing something to help you make a hole, okay, but not yet. So either a pencil or a hole puncher. And if you do have some string or some yarn, that would be helpful for hanging, okay? So go ahead and gather all those materials, push pause, and then you can come back. All right, are you back? The first thing you're going to do is take this paper. Now, this is an interesting project because it doesn't matter if you hold it this way, or this way, or this way. Take your finger, put it in the middle dot, and just trace that line. Get that sense of the shape of that spiral, the spiral. And it actually ends right there, and you'll see why in a little bit. So there's that line, and last time we were talking about a line. This spiral is just one long line, but we also want to look at the part that's not the line, the white space. So this time, use your finger and follow just the white space all the way to the end. That's where you're going to be putting your color. And you could just make the whole thing one color if you wanted to. I decided that I wanted to make mine a lot of different colors. So here's what I did. First, I took one color, so I think I'll start with pink. I have a lot of colors. I like to use them all. All right, so here we go. Let's see if we can get that to work. All right, instead of coloring this in right away with a solid color, I think I'm going to do some polka dots because I really like polka dots. So now I think what I might do is change colors. I think I'll choose blue now. And instead of polka dots, I'm going to do something different. I'm just going to make some straight lines. All right. Is that enough? It's up to me. I think I'll make another one, maybe one more, just for fun. You can make it any way you want. Do you notice that I'm taking my time and I'm thinking, what else do I want to make? Well, I've made polka dots. And I've made straight lines. Oh, I think I might make this shape. I think I might make some hearts. I like making hearts. Okay, and so on. So then I could switch to another color, another color, another color. Keep going all the way around. I'm going to switch to the one that I already finished so that you can see what it looks like. But right now, you're going to take your time and you're going to fill the whole spiral. It's not a rush. Make it look great and try to stay in the white space. So you don't want to cross over this line. You want to just really be following the white space. Okay, so I'll show you the one that I finished. You can pause the video, and when you're all finished, you can do this next part. So go ahead and finish, and then you can watch again. Here's the one that I finished. Yours doesn't have to look like mine. This is mine. You can make yours look the way you want it to look. You can get ideas from me if you want. Like, for instance, I did some patterns of just solid colors. I did some lines. I did some squiggles. Can you see that I borrowed some of the lines from Follow the Line? I made some curly Q lines. I made some straight lines. I made some dotted lines, and I made another kind of dotted line. All right. So now what I'm going to show you is how to cut this out when it's all finished. Don't cut it until it's all finished because that would be a problem. All right. I'm going to take my scissors. Let's see. Fingers on the bottom, thumbs on the top. Oh, that's not going to work. Look at that. Finger on the bottom. That's not right. I need my fingers on the bottom, thumb on the top. Open up the scissors and chop, chop, chop. So don't forget that that little hole is not for your fingers. Even if your fingers fit there, it's for your thumb. The bigger hole is for your fingers. Chop, chop, chop. Sometimes we call this the alligator's mouth. You're going to need the alligator's mouth in this activity. Are you ready? Okay. I'm going to hold it up so you can see. So I'm going to turn a little bit. You're going to do this flat, and I'll show you that in a minute too, but I want you to see this. So I'm going to start at the edge of my paper. Do you see where those two little dots are? That's telling me, oh yes, start there. And just cut like that until you start that line. Now, I chopped, and I have no more scissor left. I got to open up my scissor again. Open, chop. You see how I'm taking my time with this too? Open, chop. Now, you can do it that way all the way, and that's fine. But watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to just make littler cuts, and I'm turning my paper as I cut. Moving this hand, I'm turning as I cut. The wider I open my scissors, the longer my cut. I'm moving my hand again. Cut, 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 cut. All right, let's see what that looks like if I put it down. Okay, because this is probably more how you're going to work. But I can still take this hand and I can curve the paper, almost like I'm driving a car. Don't drive a car, but you can, like a steering wheel, you can turn the paper. You don't have to go as fast as I do. Remember, I have been cutting for probably maybe about 51 years. So I do it a little faster. But you can take your time. Just cut and turn and cut and turn. Do you see what's happening? Oh my gosh, I have such a long piece. What's happening to my spiral? Can you see how it is unspiraling? Oh my goodness, around it goes. Around and around, around and around. I'm almost to the end. What's going to happen when I get to that dot? Am I going to keep cutting? Nope, I'm going to stop at the dot. Stop when the black line stops. Stop when the black line stops. Okay, now I need to go back to the very beginning. And do you see how I had that line right there? I have all this extra paper. I don't need this. I'm going to take that off. All right. So now, oh my gosh, you guys, look what happened. Here's my spiral. And now I can pick it up from the middle. And look what happens. It's all hanging down, and it makes a really beautiful sculpture. So in order to hang this up, what I need to do is make a hole. I don't want to make the hole too close to the edge because it'll tear. I want to make the hole in the fattest part of this little circle. So you could use a hole puncher and just take it like that and make a punch and make the hole. You might not have a hole puncher at home. A lot of people probably don't. So this is where you're going to want a grown-up to help you. Please don't try to do this by yourself because I don't want anybody to get hurt and you're going to feel so frustrated if you rip your paper. So don't do that. Okay. Now, I'm going to take my pencil. I'm going to look for the fattest part. I'm going to say, I'm going to make a little circle. That's about where I want my dot. I'm going to take my pencil and very carefully, I'm just sticking my pencil in the paper. Then I made a hole. That's another way to make a hole. I'm going to take my string, and a grown-up can help you with this too, because this part's a little tricky. If you want to, you could put a piece of tape over this and then punch the hole again to make it even a little stronger. You might not need to, but just to keep it from ripping, you could do that. I'm not going to, but you certainly can. That's a kindergarten trick. All right, and then this takes a grown-up perhaps, and you're gonna just thread that string through a little bit. And I'm going to tie a knot. So to tie a knot, I'm going to take my string and I'm going to make an X. Do you see my X right there? Like the letter X. I'm going to take this tail, fold it in the back and through the circle. And then I'm going to tie it. I'm not going to tie it too tight because I don't want to rip my paper. And then I'm just going to do that again. I'm going to make another X like that. And I'm going to fold it over through the circle. And then I'm going to pull. And now I have a little tail. It needs a haircut. Where did I do with my scissors? There they are. If that ever happened to you, you put your scissors down and think, where the heck did I put them? All right. And then I'm going to cut a little bit of that tail off, not the whole thing. I'm going to pull it a little tighter, but not so much I rip the paper. And then I can hang it up. And so can you. Take a picture of it on Seesaw. We would love to see your spiral. And think of a place in your home where you might want to hang it. It might look good in a window or hanging from a shelf or somewhere so that everybody in your house can see it. If it went outside, I wonder what it would do in the wind. All right, can't wait to see yours. Have fun, kindergartners.